Hey, why go on what y'all deal with?
People still waiting, while the folks still hating. It's a new generation.
Yo, this is the first time in a long time I'm gonna do something that I haven't done before, right? I got a couple of things I want to talk about today, and I'm gonna have to mash it up. The first thing, of course, is the big thing that everybody's been talking about, which is this whole Charlie Kirk thing. Child, let me tell you something. This shit's starting to get on my nerves, okay? Everybody has not been this like pressed on something since the whole election. The whole thing is going back and forth between Kamala and Trump and all of that stuff. I'm talking about people are literally blocking their family members behind this shit. Like, it's really crazy. I'm gonna tell you this much. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was even when they first said that he died. I didn't even know who bro was, right? Had to look him up to even know who he was after people was talking about what happened to him. But I can tell you a couple of things. Number one, people do not research shit. People will look at whatever Facebook tells you that black people believe and just believe that. The statements that people are making, it's really just crazy. Not because I'm an advocate for Charlie Kirk. I don't even know, bruh. I don't advocate 100% for nobody because I'm just not that type of person, no matter who it is. I know that people will fuck up and say fucked up shit. And so I don't 100% advocate for nobody. But I can tell you this. I truly believe the reason why majority of black people is mad, not because they feel like he said anything bad, but because they don't like how he said it. And they feel like they don't want to hear it coming from a white person, right? 100% of the people who I have talked to who had a problem with Charlie Kirk probably have said some of the same stuff that he said about black people before. You know, when you go in a store and you see black people and you like, it is a high likelihood that when I go in here, they probably gonna be rude. They probably gonna be cutting up. They probably not gonna be paying attention. They probably gonna, roll their eyes or whatever. We have all had those type of experiences and we not gonna act like we haven't. But does that make us racist? To feel like that about somebody? To judge somebody because that is the color of their skin when we go in there? Or is it just that we've had bad experiences and we know that we are likely to have those type of bad experiences? Of course, we probably will be proven wrong, but the thing is that once you have that bad experience, that's what you're going to think. And then in thinking about certain things, like as it relates to black on black crime, the part that, it fucking grinds my gears as it relates to the whole thing with black on black crime is that black people try to say, well, what about other communities? Who the fuck cares? Shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is the part that pisses me off the worst. Because I can tell you that every day this week, I'm talking about every single day this week in this city, there has been a black person that was gunned down by another black person. Not by nobody white. Wasn't nobody Chinese came in there and just randomly decided to kill them. It wasn't even from the Mexicans. It was from somebody else black. This is not the news that was broadcasting this. These were family members that was posting and saying, this happened to my family member. So in case y'all want to act like the media is just posting so much black on black crime and they lying about black on black crime and that shit don't really happen. Oh yeah, it does, baby. And people are really losing family members because we decide to turn around to each other and kill each other. So let's not try to act like the fact that he was talking about black on black crime makes him racist. If he was racist, he might have been. But the whole thing is that think about what is being said, not who it's coming from, because the biggest part about it is that these are things that are actually true. Another truth, a lot of black households are being raised without black fathers. And a lot of these black households that are being raised without black fathers are turning out children who are doing more crimes, who are more susceptible to unaliving themselves and different things like that. So can we please stop acting like that is not a truth as well?
You can't come in her, come on her. Yeah!
Can we please stop acting like a lot of the times when a black father is not in a household, it does not have an impact on a black family? Let's tell the truth. And you know what? Everybody can be mad. Everybody can be, going underneath my comments and saying a whole bunch of negative shit about me. I don't care. This whole time I've been saying, how can I say this in a very neutral way so nobody's getting mad at me? But after a while I started realizing I'm just not that type of person, okay? I'm going to make sure that you know that as we're going into this and how this is happening and unfolding, it is really now becoming a shame how much we do not pay attention and we refuse to address some of these things that are happening in our community, and we want to get butthurt when we hear somebody say it, okay? Because we like, well, you shouldn't be saying nothing about it. Well, I don't like how you said it.
Uh-oh.
This is not me advocating for it. And I feel like I have to keep saying that because I know that'll be the first thing that everybody say.
Oh, you just love Charlie Kirk?
No, my thing is that as I did research like most of y'all don't, and I actually started seeing some of the things that he was saying, I said the whole thing as it relates to the DEI thing, I'm starting to believe y'all slow. DEI was not the thing that gave black people opportunities in different places. A lot of the situations with DEI, they implemented so that they could get their numbers up. The civil rights movement did open the door for other movements, and I'm talking about the LGBTQ movement, and I'm talking about the feminist movement, to capitalize off of the work that black people did during the civil rights movement. Really, they ate more off of it than we did. The craziest part about all of this is that a lot of the things that he's saying, you can go and look it up and find the statistics on it. But see, black people, and I'm talking to us as black people, we got to stop going off of emotion so much, and we got to start looking at the facts of things, because the truth don't care who tell it. So some random ass white boy, don't get butt hurt just because you're hearing it from somebody who you don't like. Don't get butt hurt because they said something that hurt your feelings. Actually deal with the shit so that if somebody says it from now on, it's not true. How about that? Anyway, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the situation as it related to Trey Reed, who was the college student in Mississippi that was found hanging around one of the wooded areas around there. Now, there's a couple of things as I did look into the story, because I look into shit, you know, instead of just believing what Facebook tells me. Anyway, I looked into the story, and what they're saying is they're not finding any foul play looking like basically there was any resistance, and they're ruling it, you know, a self-unaliving. Everybody is saying that they instantly don't believe that that's true, that they instantly feel like, you know, the media is doing this to cover up for the fact that it was absolutely a lynching. Well, I can tell you this much. Number one, of course, if this is a lynching, and I'm not ruling that out 100%, that is one of the most horrendous ways, of course, that somebody can go, right? But I'll tell you this, if it was a self-unaliving, right, it's something that we need to look at, because there is a pandemic amongst black men of high rates of depression at this time that we got to look at too. We have to prioritize mental health amongst black men, because I feel like a lot of the time it does get surpassed, and I feel like something like this could absolutely have been a result of that, you know. So there are both ways of looking at this. I'm not ruling out either one, because we not gonna act like lynching did not happen in this country, so it could very well be that, okay. But you know, in looking at the facts that have been released so far, they are still looking into it. Of course, people are calling the police stations and demanding that they do more of an investigation. People online, of course, are furious because nobody believes that, you know, it wasn't a lynching. I am waiting for more information to come out, and then I'll use my own logic to figure out whether it sounds right or not, because I'm not gonna believe it just because the news says it either. With all of these different things that have been happening, you know what it's been making me think of? The fact that we are dying at such a rate that we don't even have time to worry about how anybody else feels about it. We don't have time to say,
we gotta look around to see if anybody's saying the N-word, or if anybody feels like they don't like us or whatever.
We don't even have time to worry about that, because there's so many things that are against us, and 9 times out of 10 we are participating in those things that are against us. We are creating those situations that we have to fight against. Sadly enough, all of these things are a result, of course, of the oppression that we face in this country. But I think there's one thing that we have to understand. At this point, even though we are not accountable, hello, y'all know I'm gonna talk about it, come on now, we gonna preach.
You better preach.
Even though we are not accountable for those things that happen to us, meaning we did not offset all of these things that happen to us in this country. However, now at this point, it's time for us to become responsible for making those changes. It's time for us to say, yeah, they put all of these drugs in our neighborhood, but we are picking them up and taking those drugs. Yeah, they put all these guns in our neighborhood, but yes, we are creating the violent music that's causing us to feel like we need to turn around and shoot somebody that looks like us. We need to turn around and say, you know what? Our children live here. And I'm tired of seeing more dead babies, more dead children in these neighborhoods. A lot of these single parent households, now we're creating, not because they're still in our man off to war, but because we are having one night stands or being in uncommitted relationships with people that we don't really care about. And we got to do better. A lot of this stuff that was said, that was brought up, We didn't like it because it sounded ugly. We didn't like it because it sounded mean or it sounded blunt, or we just didn't like how it was said. But please take the blindfold off and see some of the stuff that's happening that if we don't deal with, it's gonna be a wrap for us. Man, okay, I had to get that off. Listen, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think in the comments, okay? This ain't just a rant session. I really want to see what y'all think and be able to, you know, engage with y'all as well, because this is heavy. This is a lot of stuff that's been happening. This is a lot of stuff in this past year that's been happening, and it's really no way we can keep avoiding it. Now at this point, us keeping on putting our head in the sand means our extinction, and we got to do something about that.
I don't need no negativity around me. High frequency.